1989 film Dead Poets Society, starring Robin Williams, chronicles a new English teacher at an elite private school for boys. The main character, played by Williams, teaches students to live life on their terms and not those terms society dogmatically provides. While the film outlines what many students in the inner city might decry as first world problems, so to speak, however, there's societal pressures today that are very visible in the inner city and thankfully not in such dark extremes. No, today students buckle under those same pressures by giving up, or more specifically, quitting on themselves. Artifacts of kids who have given up are very visible in the offices of administrators as they have these students signing academic or behavior contracts. A contract that outlines the performance or behavior that's expected to continue if the student hopes to remain enrolled at the same course of study at that institution. Of course, it's also the same contract the student clearly has already made the decision to opt out of. Students opt out today as a result of the idea that in order to succeed, they must attend college. The idea that the only way to be successful is to attend a four-year university in order to have a happy life. Well, there's also the idea that you could become an NBA star or SoundCloud's most downloaded musical act as alternatives to the college life. At the end of the day, they feel the odds that they'll attend and graduate from a four-year university in their minds is just without debt is just as likely as playing in a championship series with LeBron James. While the statistical odds from graduating from college, are orders of magnitude higher than signing a seven-figure record deal or an MBA contract, the statistical average of students who complete their degree in 6 years is still only 57%, according to the National College Clearinghouse. If you frowned at the 56%, 57% statistic, you'd be very disheartened to know that only 9% of students from the lowest income bracket graduated before they turned 24, according to a 2015 Wall Street Journal article. That's the statistics on it. Without question, it's an honorable goal to increase these statistics. Wanting more for our students is at the heart of every educator. However, if your focus on winning the hearts and minds of our students to commit to behaving and academically performing is based on the idea they should do it for the opportunity, the odds of your success based on previous performance using the old methodology are less than 1 in 10. Secondly, to highlight a few of the main items that students are seeing, they're very visible, as part of that opportunity that you're offering, a 2014 Federal Reserve Bank reported that 40% of college graduates are employed or unemployed or working in a job that doesn't require a college degree. Second, Americans owe $1.48 trillion in student loan debt, recently eclipsed the unsecured or credit card debt by $620 billion. Third, 10% of students are currently in default with their student loan debt as of 2018. I know these aspects of the world are impacting students. I have conversations with students about what they want to do after high school. The insights are incredibly revealing. And when I get the chance, try and get them recorded while saying it.
All right, I'm with a Gen Con student here at New England Laborers Training Academy. I caught him reading Marcus Crassus this morning and using words such as effervescence and opportunity cost. So I questioned him on whether or not he had a college education, and the gentleman tells me he just has an intellectual curiosity that spurs from high school. So let me ask you a very poignant question. Why is it you chose to join the Laborers Union versus going to college?
Because I learned from my sister, having gone to Carnegie Mellon. She had dropped out junior year, 1 year away from her degree. She wasted $140,000 of my parents' money, and I became determined not to make the same mistake and not to waste money on things that I wouldn't have learned from.
Okay. What about that college degree? You think that's kind of a necessary thing today? Or is it just not you? What?
It's more about the knowledge is all out there. The knowledge is all on the internet. It's all free. You can find it if you're determined to find it. You'll learn whatever you're willing to learn.
Where did you get this intellectual curiosity from?
To be honest, I've learned it since middle school. It's just kind of something that you'll find what sparks your passion, and then you just start researching it, and you find that it leads to other avenues and venues, and the more that you learn, the more things come together. So you'll find that your passion will lead you into multiple directions, actually, so that you have a better overall understanding of what drives you.
Was it a teacher that put you on this path, or
Yeah,
spark
it was
an interest?
a 7th grade teacher, Mr. Turgeon. He taught history, and we were doing Rome and Greece, and I'd done a project on the Praetorian Guards and stuff, and from there it just kicked off, and I started doing a lot of research, and you kind of realize it's nothing old, nothing new. There's no new information that's going to be presented to you, but the college costs keep going up and up and up. Again, all this you can find if you're dedicated enough to learn it.
Aiden, thank you very much for your time.
Yes, sir.
I didn't go to college because I had no scholarships. I had my heart set on West Point, but I had missed the deadline. So I went active duty in the Army. I could have went straight to work, but I didn't because, I don't know, it seemed more like jobs were asking more for college degrees. So I figured if I went to the Army, got the GI Bill, I'd have $60,000 for college. Go to college, then I work anywhere I want, or I can stay in the Army.
Sometime during the 1980s, when health became the new phenomenon, you may have gotten a bag of carrots in your lunchbox. You had a decision to make. Leave the carrots in the lunchbox, return them to sender, or throw them away, or eat them because you were hungry. What if your mom told you the night before grocery shopping, "Hey, I know you're working hard to make the soccer team next year. What if we added some healthy snacks to your lunch to help the cause? I can buy carrots or apples for your lunchbox. Which, instead of the Little Debbie snack cakes, which would you want, carrots or apples?" You would have seen the new healthy snack as part of your vision, a vision of making the soccer team that you had already bought into. But the deciding factor here is that you had a choice to buy into it. We're all familiar with the word choice. It's in our lexis of words as part of the rubric for effective teaching. However, here the word has a bit of a different context. Instead of speaking to how somebody learns something, it speaks more to differentiate the why of learning something. We provide the only choice to have a successful life as a 4-year degree. We're essentially just putting carrots in their lunchbox by the truckload. At this point, there are no guarantees in education, life. We find ourselves at an inflection point in our history that Thomas Friedman refers to as the age of accelerations. Other authors and dozens of books paint a futuristic picture that looks as if the best bet on future employment for the millennial generation is tied to constantly learning, adapting, and refitting skills to maintain in the age of accelerations. In a 2016 report, the World Economic Forum predicted that 65% of students in school today will be working in a job that doesn't exist yet. This isn't something new. If you told my father in 1964 he would spend 27 years as a database administrator, he would have asked, "What's a database administrator?" If you told me in 1991 that I was going to start 3 businesses on the internet, the first question I would have asked is, "What's the internet?" So it isn't new. However, the scale and speed at which these transitions are occurring in the coming years pale in comparison to those eras. Notice the proximity of time between the 3rd and 4th Industrial Revolution in this picture. As previously noted, the difference between 1964, 1991, and now is there was at least a decade of evidence behind each era that getting into college in almost any field was a proven method of achieving some financial success and an almost sure ticket to the middle class in America. Our students do not have that evidence. On the contrary, many indicators are shaped like an octagon, they're painted red, and have some distinct lettering. PayPal co-founder and billionaire Peter Thiel has given a college degree the moniker of a dunce cap. Fancy words from a gent who holds a law degree from Stanford. Despite the pundits and abundance of evidence, it's the 4-year degree and the cost premises that are the fallacy of the education argument. Given the outlook of our nation's need to constantly adapt, relearn, and reskill our employees, there is a great case for reforging our education system into one that produces lifelong learners rather than college graduates. In my honest opinion, the first step in getting students to buy in or commit to opportunities available to them is winning their hearts and minds. Informing them of the choice to commit and making a case for where they could fit in to the new economy in an age of accelerations as a lifelong learner, rather than a college graduate, is a powerful culture change in education. While the path is not easy, it's a much more definitive to gain buy-in for smaller goals and allow that smaller success to breed larger completed challenges. Rather than pinning success on an essay leading to becoming a Rhodes Scholar, demonstrate the need for success in that essay is based on the premise that written communication is a requisite skill to even apply for a job. Even a cover letter has an argument. This may seem like straight up common sense. However, when you stop and think about how often any performance and behavior conversation are linked to larger milestones such as graduation, getting into college, finding success in life, the conversations about smaller goals aren't so common. Creating a school culture that's laser focused on creating lifelong learners who work towards mastering the task of learning rather than mastery at a task won't be easy. Nothing worth doing ever is. The starting point is creating a vision for your class, department, or school. Students will follow a leader with vision that fits into their view of the world. Hopefully this clip has provided some insight into that view that they're seeing right now. Create a vision that paints a visually stimulating picture where everyone fits right into place in some way, shape, or form. Stay away from the trap of creating a vision of how you achieved your place unless somehow you match the demographic, economic, and community conditions that your students currently are familiar with. It goes without saying that any current educator probably made their way into that position not really in the age of accelerations. Good luck, and Godspeed towards creating your vision and fostering a new culture in your school. There's a lot riding on your success.